What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me with Buzzing with Marlo live. I hope all is well. Happy Friday. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, most importantly, subscribe. Hit that notification bell right there to stay in contact with all our platforms, just to name the main ones. Obviously, YouTube. That's the big one we want to really promote. Obviously, guys, you can follow us on social medias at Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Tumblr, LinkedIn, all social media handles. Just type in at Buzzing with Marlo. Guys, happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. It's crazy. It's been a crazy week. I can't say it enough. It's also been a really sad day also because of, a childhood of mine is gone. Has passed away. I always preach, it's better to overcome the odds than be a statistic. And it really hurts knowing that Jason David Frank, if anybody doesn't know, Tommy Oliver from damn near almost every Power Rangers you could think of, has became a statistic. It sucks. Really does suck. I mean, I can't tell you how much of my childhood he's affect in any possible way. It was always wrestling and Power Rangers with me. If anybody knew me from friends or family, you knew those were the two things that I was all about. And even though I was a big Red Ranger fan, I was big on Jason. Tommy was that other guy. I always compared Tommy and Jason to like Rock and Stone Cold. Those two really, if it weren't for those two, it wouldn't have been the Power Rangers. And of course, the Pink Ranger. The Pink Ranger is what really helped me hit puberty. But man, rest in peace out go to Tommy. I met Jason David Frank. It's still insane to know I met him not even a year ago. We met him at a comic shop. It was really awesome. He bought my daughter a toy just because it was her birthday. Even though he tried to buy her a Green Ranger toy, Belle was not having it. Belle didn't know what a Green Ranger was or whatever. She wanted this pig-looking thing, and he bought it for her. And he said, don't mention it, really good dude, really humble guy, and really wanted to make a change when it comes to the outlook of a celebrity. He was like a role model. He knew people would spend their valued hard-earned money and time and effort to see him, so he would make every chance to see every single person that was in that building. And I remember that day he stayed even 2 hours later than usual. Everyone at that comic shop got a chance to meet him, see him, all these stuff, man. Y'all don't realize he would go to these comic shops super early, might I add. Go in there, buy stuff to support the comic area, sell merch and whatnot. And most importantly, he would get on the phone and just interact with his fans. And not just even the older audience, the kids and stuff. Everybody knew who Tommy Oliver was. And he is probably the only Ranger that has been on the most seasons, the most episodes. I know he had the movie coming out, The Legend of the White Tiger. I'm still hoping that one becomes a success because he's done so much to promote that. And it's so I'm not going to ever get to see his work from that and the reaction of his fans and audience. So Um, it's still gonna be a hard thing, especially his daughter. Um, but yeah, Jason David Frank, you will be missed, and once a Ranger, always a Ranger. So yeah, but guys, I am so excited and blessed for this week. Um, Last year's episode, we did the Thanksgiving special, and I had my boy Brian B from the Beeline Web Show. So why not today? That's right, guys. Today for episode 113, boy Brian B back, back, baby, back. He is back and live and well, guys. We're gonna bring it to you. We're gonna have an awesome chat. We're gonna have all the talk. We're gonna talk about wrestling. We're gonna talk about stuff going on the internet, stuff talk about with childhood and rants about parenting and stuff like that. So guys, so when the countdown goes to 30 to 1, I'm not wasting no more time. We're going to chat with the one and the only, Mr. Brian B. And guys, but, 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 you see these awesome hoodies, guys? Make sure you check out the Bonfire Shop, Bonfire / Buzzing with Marlo. Get you a hat, get you a tank top, get you a shirt, get you that awesome Buzzing with Marlo merch. Because, guys, you do that, that supports the podcast, that makes us grow. And, guys, I want to say a major shout out to all y'all. We are on the verge of hitting 300 subscribers on YouTube. That's right, guys. 300 subscribers. That is a major, major milestone in my book. And obviously, we're on Apple products. That has been insanely amazing. Guys, if you didn't check out the episode with my boy Kofi Wheatston from the Dirty Hills podcast, I suggest you to go back after you check this one out because that was an awesome, awesome chat. And man, good brother Buff, man, I'm gonna have to get you on soon. But guys, no more talk. It is time to go because we are about to be one and join with the one and only hype man of a podcast world for the Buzzing with Marlo sensation. That's right, guys. I'm talking about Brian B. And that countdown starts in 3, 2, 1, right now.
All right. He's here, the hype man himself, Mr. Brian B. How you
What
doing, my
is
friend?
good, y'all? People. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy. It's Brian B. Oh, we talking about wrestling, right? Who remember that right there? The Rock, baby. Yo, what's good, people? Hey, Mr. Warren Marlowe, thank you guys so much for having the Beeline Web Show back on the show. It's always fun
Absolutely,
when we
man.
come on, always fun when we get together and talk about different things. It's an honor, man. Really appreciate to see you on season 4. You're doing a lot of things. I heard everything while I was, waiting in the background. But yo, proud of you, man. Doing a lot of big moves, man. Very impressive.
A lot of work, man. A lot of
Yeah,
work.
that's what's up.
I tell people, man, don't do something unless you're dedicated.
Yeah,
And
for
that's
sure.
one thing a lot of people gotta realize. Like when you love it, that burnout moment doesn't happen, man. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, when
yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
still find something to invest yourself into it, it makes you challenge yourself and keep going, makes
Yeah,
yourself get better and stuff like that.
exactly.
And I never thought I'd do a video podcast. And obviously
I
now
love
we
it,
are
man.
officially 2 seasons in of back to back video. So
Yeah, yeah,
now I'm more addicted to the video than I am on audio now, which is even crazier because
yeah,
it's just like it's different every single time. So
yeah.
Brian B, man,
I
how's
love
it
the
been?
video.
What's the new stories about my boy with the Beeline podcast, man? Let us know.
Hey man, hey, web show. We got web show. We gotta make sure we call it
Web
web show.
show, that's right, the
Yo,
Web
listen,
show.
Beeline Web Show. Hey guys, thank you guys so much. I'm on Mr. Warren Marlowe's podcast. If anybody's following me on my show as well, like he's been on a bunch of times. It's been great conversation, like he said. We talk about a lot of different things. Yeah, we did just have. I heard you speak earlier about the fellas episode. I loved it. It was such good conversation at a time where it's really needed, man. So many we gotta speak up for the men, bro. Cause we going through shit
Mm-hmm.
too. We going through stuff too. Oh, hey, listen, hey, I'm a little out there. You know, I'm wild, man. I don't got no filters, so I don't want to say nothing. I ain't supposed to over here. Don't get me in trouble over here, Mr.
Hey
Warren
man, you see the
Marlowe.
logo? Chains are off. Embrace yourself. Have fun.
Yes.
Embrace it.
But yeah, man, I'm over here at my show. Like, hey, I've been doing big things. You know, we've been like you stated, like we got the Beeline Web Show. That's on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And that's more of just a general kind of talk. That's where I have a lot of guests come on and speak about different things, different topics. We have a whole bunch of different segments. We do one that's called Free Talk. That's kind of we just come
Mm-hmm.
on, we just talk shit, we just talk whatever we want. I got a segment called Talking with Strangers. Talking with
Yep.
strangers is literally people coming on. I don't know them. I don't really even try to know them until the show happens. I've met a lot of really amazing guests that way. Literally just sending a Facebook message like, "Hey, yeah, we want to come on the show, talking with strangers. This is what we're doing," and I wouldn't talk to them until that day, and I wouldn't even find out what we were
Yep.
talking about. And I've met so many really interesting people, man, and it's been great. Like I had a actress on there recently from a movie from the '60s, and it was considered one of
Oh,
the
wow.
worst movies of all time. It's called Manos:
Yep.
The Hands of Fate, and I think Mystery Science Theater 3000. They're the ones who found it and kind of dubbed it, and when it showed it, it kind of created this whole universe for being the worst movie ever. And you would
Mm-hmm.
never think that that's something you could be famous for, but when she told me the story, it was crazy, bro. Because I had no idea we were going to be talking about things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
the talking with strangers thing was definitely a success, man. We're still doing it on Tuesdays. So if you want to come on, be a stranger, get to know me, we talk about some
Hey.
stuff in your life. Like I say this every time, yo. I gotta say it. I'm still looking for the wives that's cheating on the husbands. I'm still looking for that shit too. So you ought to come on
Which
too.
is crazy how hard it is to find that, but it's so
Yo,
obvious around the
listen, bro.
world. That's
Listen.
the part that drives me nuts.
Yo, I used to work for Comcast. I used to install cable and shit. So I used to go inside people's houses every day and just go and do cable installs. And sometimes I'd be in there for long times running cable, shit like that or whatever. So a lot of times you go there and wives would be home by themselves. Their husbands would be at work or whatever, kids be at school. So when I tell you the amount of wives that I've had laying on the bed with the towel open a little bit, literally, I remember this
It's
one
not a
house.
joke.
Yo,
It's
this
not a
one
joke.
house, this lady literally was telling me how she was cheating on her husband. I didn't ask, I didn't say anything. She was telling me the whole story about how she was reconnecting with her boyfriend from high school. Bro, listen, it's serious, yo. It's serious. So like, yo, like I said, I would love to have some people come on and talk about anything, yo. It's just a free range where you can speak whatever you want. But that's the web show on Tuesdays, kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
podcast. I call it a web show because it is a visual, like you said, Warren. I
Right.
love the
Yep.
visual because we can be wild, we can be out, you get facial expressions, you just get more communication through it.
It's
You know
like
what I
a
mean?
one scene reality show.
Exactly, man. It's like, so I love the visual. I love YouTube. YouTube is the shit. Changed the world, right? But we also do we also do a show on Thursday nights. And Thursday at 9 p.m. we do the entertainment show. And that's actually where my business is. The Beeline Entertainment is my
Mm-hmm.
business, and I've been, in entertainment field my whole life, from music to writing movies and different things like that. So it's like we have that show, and talent comes on, and whether it be an
Mm-hmm.
actor or a celebrity or a singer or anybody, a chef, it doesn't matter. Like, we come on, we talk about your field, the free promotion, what you're doing, how you got into it, and then we have a segment called Showing Off. And showing off is where you come on and you show off your skill. Hold on. Let me do it right. Let me do it right. I gotta do it right. So we got the Beeline Entertainment where you come on and show off. That's right. So that's how we get down, yo. That's how we get down on Thursdays. And we also do like the watch list when we go over like movies and games and everything like that. So listen, if you guys aren't where it's at on Thursdays and Tuesdays, Beeline, where is that,
Yep.
baby? Yes. But right now, yo, Warren, once again, man, thank you so much. I love your show, man. I've been checking out your show. You got some new stuff going on too, man. I've been checking out your stuff as well. Yeah, bro.
I
It's
haven't even got all of it out. Yeah, like how you
yeah,
said, talking about like
yeah,
I
like
love Dre. I love Dre, but Dre even acknowledged this so much. He said you cannot have commission talks without the banter between me, Yeti, him, and Blackheart. Like we make that show insane. Like we can talk about wrestling, sports, all that stuff. Like we just make a debate, and I tell people it's so much better and so much more entertaining for you to disagree than to agree.
yeah.
Like we
Not
make it very
not unless
rare
you
that we
being
will
not
agree
unless
to
you
it.
being the asshole that's just trying to
No,
disagree to disagree.
yeah,
But
exactly. And
yeah, you're
sometimes
right. Like
I will acknowledge it, and I know he will be in this thing, and he'll comment on it. I get under his skin very easily, just like he can get under my skin at times.
got it.
But it makes it entertaining. And then when you hear me on Let's Talk About It, I'm more down to earth, I'm comedic, and I can also be serious at the same time. Just like how I did your segment when we did with the men's talk. Like
Yeah,
shout out to that to your friend that was on it with us too, because like
yeah,
we
Tater.
legit we broke that wall. Like we were
Yeah.
not holding anything back. We were talking about, him talking about oil being put on his head,
Yeah,
me
bro.
talking about
Crazy
my
shit.
history of what happened to us. Like
Mm-hmm.
those are showing vulnerability to your audience. And
Yeah.
that's one thing that audiences got to realize. If you're going to be in a podcast, you cannot be fake. Like if you're going
Mm-hmm.
to bring a fictional character in this, you need to go above and beyond to make that fictional character stand out in these podcasts
Yeah,
or
very
a
true.
video cast or whatever you want to say. Like a lot of people don't realize you have to show what's the real to get that acceptance to keep following through. And I've been on numerous podcasts. Obviously, I'm that wrestle head. Everybody wants me to have my perspective on wrestling. Like I can't even tell you how many wrestling podcasts I've been on this past summer.
Yeah.
And you followed a heck of amount of them. And I appreciate that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that shows support and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's just when they see who I am and they talk to me, they realize I'm not just that musclehead. I'm not just that wrestling guy. Like I've been through a lot of stuff, and I could speak on a visual on it on my perspective, and
Yeah.
people can look at it and go, that makes sense. Maybe yeah. And another thing I always made, and I shout out to the recent podcast I was on, Ambition. My it was Ambition is basically how you change. How can you affect somebody? And like I said, man, I'm an open book. I'm not gonna hold back anything I said because, say, if I did get real popular in this, I don't say I'm famous in this. People could call me whatever they want. I'm not gonna have somebody Google me and go, "Oh, he was on child support for such and such." I'm gonna tell you before you could even get that out on.
So you mean you don't want anybody to find out to discover shit about you? You're gonna try to put your
Exactly,
own shit out there before somebody
exactly.
can
I want
discover
I
you.
want it to come out of my
Okay.
mouth better than somebody research me.
Yeah, just in that concept too. I mean,
I mean, it's a
there's a
hit or
lot.
miss sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
there's
a
a
hit or
lot.
miss.
It's a lot that you kind of like you said, I think doing things like this, the biggest thing that you have to be is yourself. Like, there are people who will put on a persona. Like I tell everybody all the time, like, yo, this is me, bro. This
Hmm.
isn't no, like, oh, my uniform goes on and I turn into a character and shit. Like, this is how I am. And I think that's why it's the easiest. I think people who
Hmm.
don't find as much success doing things like this is because they don't really know how to express themselves, or they do think that they have to put on a character. Like, I'm kind of dealing with that. It sounds crazy, but I'm kind of dealing with that right now with my son. Like, my son, he's it's crazy because it's like he has a really genuine kind of comedic kind of way about him. Like,
Hmm.
he he says shit like this is what happened one day. I picked him up from school, right? And and his sister was with him, and his sister had drew a picture. Okay, so they sit in the thing, and she was mad. She was pissed off in the back seat. So I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" So she had drew a picture, right? So she said James is making fun of my picture. He said that my picture looks like it was a person. It was supposed to be a person, but he said
Supposed to
that
be a person.
my picture looks like a tooth. And this is the part. This is the part that's fucking funny, right? It did. And it was
the
so
sad thing is you gotta
it
be
was
that parent and be like, hey
yo,
man,
listen,
you see that person, right?
that was
You
it.
see this
That was it.
person.
When I saw it, you know when you see some shit and it's funny and it's like it shocks you because you're like, oh damn, that's right, it does. That's exactly how I felt. I saw the picture. I was like, holy shit, it does look like a tooth, just like it. So I was
You don't see
fucking
the
laughing.
smile. You don't see his hands.
So listen, so that was why. So like I said, yo, my son, he got a natural character about him where it's like he's comedic, like the shit be funny. But when he sits down, he gets in front of the camera, like he's been trying to do this
Oh,
for
it's a
10
different
years.
game. It's a different game.
It doesn't come natural, yo. So it's like there is certain parts of it that it's like, you do have to kind of have your character because
Mm-hmm.
if you aren't that kind of person doing something like this, you do have to know when you have to kind of step away
Yep.
from it. I mean, unless you're just satisfied. Like if you're satisfied doing it, you're not looking for much from it. You're
Yep.
doing it because you enjoy it. Then that's your own personal reasons. But if you're doing it trying to be like successful at it, you want to have fucking millions watching you for whatever reason, it's a little different, man. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like personally, you do have to be yourself, man. And people watching you read you well, like
Yep.
at least a lot of people read you well. Like they'll see, you can see when that fake shit is like, oh, he's trying to be that person, he's trying to
Mm-hmm.
fit in that area. Like you just gotta be yourself, man. Especially in debates, like you can't really debate strongly if you're just doing it to just fucking do it. Like arguing to argue,
I
like that
won't
shit
lie.
ain't fun.
I've done it a couple of times.
Mm, I can't,
And
bro.
I would have my boy.
Brian on every now and then, but my brother, he's one of them type of people where literally he'll say shit to you just because he can, like, and
Yep.
then tell you about it. Like this motherfucker was going up to your face like, hey, it's I got my rights to free speech, and you better use it before somebody takes it. You just want to fucking hit him. Like you're an asshole if you explain it in that depth. Like you
No,
had to
that's
do
kind of
that,
like how Shiz sees me. Like
verify
sometimes
it.
he's like, dude, I literally don't get worked up a lot, but somehow, man, you can just smirk, and I just either laugh or I get pissed off at the same time. Like it's just those
You got a talent. You got a God-given
feelings.
talent. But I
Hey,
like debating, yo. That's one of the things that, like I
those are the
said, like
entertain. Those are the one entertaining. Like
it is,
honestly,
especially when you have two valid points. I think that's like one of the biggest things. Like as I'm getting older and stuff like that, or whatever, like discovering, like when you're talking to people, you this is deep, bro. I don't know. We ready for this shit? Like I don't even know like
go
what kind of
for it.
topics we got.
Go
But
for it, bro.
I, you start to understand the concept of right.
Yep.
Everybody's concept of right, even if you're wrong, potentially can be right. I think that the gray
Hmm.
area is like the biggest kind of understanding that I'm having as I'm getting older, man, talking to different people.
Yep. I agree with you on that.
It's such a different way of looking at things instead of like maybe back in the day I used to be the kind of person who would argue and try to like have somebody else see my side, because I
Hmm.
felt like my side was right. But now I'm trying more of like understanding where somebody else can come from, and basically listen to man. This is like the most crazy. It sounds like if you could.
I should have hit the mic off, but
Now
sometimes
you
I've
good,
been doing that. Sometimes people can keep going while I'm like I got the camera a little bit off, or whatever. But then
bro.
some are just like, "Is he there? He's there." And then when I'm like halfway out of the room, I can't hit the mic button, so I can't just say, "Yeah, I'm here." And it's like,
Gotcha.
"Oh
Okay.
crap."
Listen, I know. They're a perfect example. It's just some shit, bro. It's like you can't turn it off, man. It's like I'm not. I've never been one of those type of people who is like, it's easy to fake how I feel. Like I put that shit
Hmm.
out there, and I'm also not scared to like tell you about it. Like I'm not like
Exactly.
I was saying, bro. But that's kind of how I am now. I look at the gray area more than anything. It's not more as important for me to be looked at as like, hey, my side's right for this reason, no matter what
Exactly.
the case is, because
It's
people have
it's
different
more
thoughts,
of an
man.
open mind to look at it as, okay, you know what, I agree with you, but I want you to explain it to me. Like
Yeah,
it makes you
exactly.
second guess it, and that's one
Yeah.
thing I had to learn when I did podcasting, which when I first recorded on Anchor, that is so hard because it's not like it highlights, all right, he's finished talking, I'm ready to talk. Like my biggest problem was I would over talk somebody, and it was like you never knew because it's not like, oh, it lights up, okay, you're talking, all right, my turn. Like it could go to an utter silent, then they would start talking, then you'd go back and you're like, never
Got
gonna
it.
win. So
Yeah.
I love the fact when you do videos and stuff now, because I'm like, okay, unless it like the video freezes or whatever, we still got the motion, keep going, talk like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It That's one thing I've learned so much with podcasting. It doesn't matter if you're right. It's just a matter of how you see it.
Yeah.
Regardless
Yeah.
if it's right or wrong, how
That's
you see it.
understanding, man.
And
Understanding is important.
I think that's the biggest demographic with movies now. I mean, great example, Joker. Um, when we were younger, Joker was always the bad guy. Now
Yeah.
we got this movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and you're like, oh, is he really the bad guy anymore? Like, I get reason why he
Like
did
he's a
what he did
bad
at the
guy.
ending, but still, like,
Yeah.
I was intrigued because you legit thought he was a good guy through the whole movie, and then at that end, you're like, oh, yep, you did it. There it is. That's
I,
why we called you the bad guy.
I get it. Okay, so you're saying you think that shit, you Warren, you might be on your own with that one. I saw it like you mean you thought he was a good guy because he was.
The way they told the story, because you saw like how he was getting bullied and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that's how a lot of stuff in the world we get screwed up in starts out,
Yeah.
because either misbehaving on parenting or something like that. Those are the actual real true demographics. It's not just in movie type scenes. It's
Yeah.
just
No,
now the movie
definitely. Yeah.
scenes are really embracing it now because how the culture is. It's
Yeah.
never, oh, you just are playing out the bad guy anymore. It's now, what did you do to be that bad guy?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure. I
it's
mean,
crazy just like how so much thing have evolved on that. And that's one thing I'll say about a podcast, like with a debate. Debates are fun. I like them. I
yeah.
used to
I
hate
love to
stuff
talk
like that,
shit.
but it gives you that moment to be like, you know what? I can express my side, you get your side, and I guarantee you, we go from that one viewer to almost 20 because they're gonna want to know whose perspective they want to know about.
Yeah,
Like,
and but you want to know something? This is something else that I do like when we're able to talk. Like I like people who are not just going to be headstrong on their side. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
mm-hmm,
I'm one of them type of people. I think you just said it best. Like I can have a strong standpoint on something. I can feel like I'm right. I can even know I'm right. And I'll talk to you and I will invite your thoughts into my head
yep,
to change my shit. Like if you can succeed, I will be the first fucking person to admit, like, yo, all right, fucking you right, okay, I got you. I see how you got
it's
it.
like a video game.
Yeah,
You won,
no, for real, because
one up.
I think a big piece of like information that's important, bro, is you can't just stand your ground because that's your ground. Like you can be persuaded, you can be like shown a different way, or maybe you didn't know a piece of information. I'm cool with that. But if you're gonna just stand strong and just say, well, that's what it is because that's what I think it is, and that's your fucking argument, and I'm supposed to step back and be like, well, I'm just gonna go on your side now. Like, nah, you gotta have a fucking
You think I'm gonna
strong
jump
argument.
right over?
Yeah, like you
Buddy.
gotta have an argument, bro. Like even if I'm fucking wrong, like you have to have an argument. Yo, we used to do things like
Mm-hmm.
this. We used to say things like, anybody can have a perspective, anybody can have a side, anybody can have a reason. Now, here's an easy fucking example. The sky is blue. Okay, bam. You go to somebody and hit somebody with the sky is blue. That person and 50 fucking people come over and say, yeah, the sky's blue. What the hell are you talking about? Why are you telling me? Like, but it's like you'll get that one fucking person who has the perspective and they have to have their side. They have to have their standpoint. The sky's
It's
not
like a
blue.
damn manual
The
from point
sky's
A to
listen,
like point Z. I'm like, how do
exactly.
you even talk about that much about a
Listen,
damn
listen.
sky?
Listen, bro. The sky's not blue. The sky is sky blue. All right? You got that motherfucker. Then you got the motherfucker. The sky's
It's
not
dark blue.
sky blue. The sky's light blue. Okay? Then you got this motherfucker, right? But what about when it's dark out? So fuck all y'all. Like, then you got so many different perspectives. So now you gotta be open, right? Because you know that, a percentage of them is just like, they may be on some asshole shit. Like, well, you're right, you're wrong. But you
Now
also
you
gotta
gotta get your
factor
shit
in.
across.
Exactly. Like now you gotta factor in. All right, is it sky blue? Is it this? Like, what's your reason for saying? If you just like this, nah, motherfucker, the sky's blue. Like you just stuck in your own shit. Like,
And the sad thing is, bro, like it will get like honestly, like you know how like on internet on Facebook, that is clickbait. That is legit
Listen,
clickbait.
bro.
Like people will click that shit and be like,
Yep.
"Is the sky really
Is the
blue?"
sky blue?
Like,
Yo, I'm
bro,
telling
what?
you.
They're gonna go outside and be like, "Yeah, it looks blue to me."
They'll start a whole fucking group over that, yo. I'm trying to tell you.
You're gonna
But
start a whole revolution.
that's the but I'm saying,
The
listen,
sky is
yo,
purple.
word on some real shit. But something like that, like that's the most basic example I could try to like come up with right now. But I'm saying like that's the part where either you can stand your ground and like, well, yo, the sky is blue. You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
Mhm.
Or you could be the kind of person that's like, well, why is he saying sky blue? Well, maybe he's right. There is a color called sky blue in the fucking crayon box. But
It's
but do we have to
indigo.
acknowledge it?
What's going?
Like, can we just like agree? It's okay. Then you got to. This is where you got to be all technical and shit. All right, this sky is a shade of blue. Is that fair? And then you got motherfuckers. Well, it's more of like a. It could be
No,
purple.
I used to hate when I saw crowns and they were starting to say, "All right, we got violet blue, we got indigo blue." I said,
Oh,
"Man, it's blue. Stop
yo,
it." That joke
yo,
would get us so nervous.
it's crazy, bro. But it's like it's so
It's
much.
crazy how many different colors there really is. It's
It's
not just
perspective,
like
man.
green. People can say, "Oh, this is neon green. Oh, this is lime green." This
Forest
is like,
green, yeah,
no, it's green.
it's green, bro. Don't add extra shit to it. Make it difficult. Like shit is too difficult, man. We need
Stop
some
it.
simplicity. Damn it, make it
We're
easier.
going
Shit.
back to Crayola, not science therapy over here.
But yo, but shit like that is fun though, man. Like you said, like that's the reason why like I try to open up. Like I love debating too, man. But I don't like debating when I don't want to just feel like, oh, I'm just trying to have my side. I'm not
Hmm.
just trying to have my side. I'm actually trying to learn, like, why do you have your side? Like
Exactly.
it's
Yep.
obvious for me why I see the shit that I'm seeing, but maybe I'm missing something. Like, a lot of times you'll be arguing with somebody and like they say something and you're like, holy shit, I didn't even think of. I was having an
Yep.
argument. Here's something else. Here's another like example. Like I was having an argument. This is gonna be some touchy shit right here. I was out. It was me, my brother, and I think his wife and his cousin, and we were kind of out dinner in Atlanta. It was late night. We was in this place. The motherfucker was closing, and we stayed. And this is how good this argument was. We stayed. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and the people who were working there came over to our table when they were closing and joined in on the fucking conversation. So this was what I said. I said this back in the day. Back in the day, you used to have kind of a simpler kind of like way that the household was ran. I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm not saying anything like that. So don't come for me in any type of way. But the man used to go out and work, right? Men used to go out and work, and for the most part, women used to stay home and provide for the family, take care of the kids, cook the dinners and stuff like that, or whatever. I know that's like, kind of a misogynistic way of thinking and stuff like that, or whatever. But listen, we can't change fact of that's how it was looked at back in the day.
Hmm.
I am a firm believer that creates balance. I think that the man being able to go to work, or just for both sides, the woman being able to go to work and the man being able to stay home and take care of the children and cook the food. One's maintaining the livelihood of the house, one maintaining the livelihood of the family as far as providing with the money and stuff like that or whatever.
So,
I see
so two
structure in that
type of
shit.
roles. Two type of roles.
Exactly. Exactly. I see structure in that shit. I see support in that. I see balance. I see all of that in that. So I was on that argument side. And I was strong on that shit. I was saying that argument for a long time. We were sitting there at that dinner table having that argument. My brother's cousin, all right, not my cousin, my brother's cousin, threw in the monkey wrench to my whole fucking plan. But what about the husbands who leave the wives? And
That's a
listen,
whole different
when I
story.
tell you, like, yo, it's something that you would think is like so understood. Like, I should just have known that. But it was just a part of this of my perspective that I didn't include. It's not like I don't know that husbands, get a woman pregnant and then fucking leave. Like it's a potential.
Hmm.
Like a woman can't
Yep.
leave the baby. She's making it. Like there's nothing that can happen. So that part of it. What about, the woman? I'm sitting here like, yo, everybody should try to like, we should go back to this household kind of environment. But then you do have people who leave the family. And in
Yep.
that situation, or you even have mothers who leave, after the baby's born, leave the kid with the dad or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's situations like that too. But I didn't even factor that shit in, bro. So it's like I'm thinking that I'm so right with changing the planet. Like I'm ready to save humanity and shit. I got the answers. But like she threw that monkey wrench into my whole plan, and I didn't even understand it. But when she said it, I knew immediately. Damn, she's right. I can't. This would be me, like ignorantly. Oh no, but yeah, but that happens. But
Isn't
whatever. Like
isn't it crazy how a story like say like how that debate goes from that simple to a whole different backgrounds and it makes it even so much bigger. It's like a snake. Like you get that little snake like this. You know, like that old snake game where it has to go against the dots and keep going. It's
mm-hmm.
kind of like that with a conversation. Like it
Yeah,
can go in so many ways and it just grows, extends it out
yeah,
so much.
for real, man. Yeah,
And
especially if you're
and you
open.
don't get these visual times until like you get a little bit wiser and stuff. Like
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
tackling on so much more now because we've had these genres like you know what's good and what's bad,
Yeah,
and we've been raised on that for so long, and that's one reason why it's so hard for us to change that development now a little bit with some people because we've been so used to this. We've been accustomed to this for so long. So
yeah,
when this part comes out, this is like rocket science to us. We
yeah,
don't
man.
know what's going on. It's like, oh, we have no control what's thought of right now. Like
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah, for
got
sure.
women's sports, we got this, we got
Yeah,
this.
so
Like we
much
don't know
change,
what's
man.
going on.
Yo,
And it's
but
like,
listen, it's another topic. Like it is so much changing. It is so much development. It is so much like that you look at and you're like, hey, do I agree with this? Do I not agree with it?
mm-hmm.
Why do I or don't I agree with it? Um, but a lot of times, do you really have a good answer? Like, is it just because it's something that you're not knowing? Is it
No, no,
because
no.
it's not
Say that
used
again.
to you?
Say
Like,
that again.
that's I think that's one of the
A
biggest
lot of people
problems with
don't realize that.
yeah, you don't really understand sometimes. I think sometimes, at least sometimes, just to be fair, people don't really understand why they're arguing for a side. I think that they have a reason because if you like something or you don't like something, but I don't know if you have a reason for why. I mean, this goes back to race. This goes back to fucking everything. I mean, you can put it for anything. Like you may have a reason why you don't like something, but you don't understand the reason. I relate that a lot to like you just said, like women's sports, and now you got like the transsexual sports and the involvement. I can just tell you straight
That's
up,
a
yo, listen,
whole
fuck it, we
different
talking, right?
philosophy.
We talking, right? Yo, hey, listen, hey,
Hey,
Mr.
have fun
Royal
with it. Go
Marlowe,
ahead. Hey,
Mr.
we're
Royal
having a
Marlowe.
conversation. I like
The
it.
B
Go.
the Beeline Web Show is called the Beeline Web Show because the Beeline, we get straight to the point. There ain't no sugarcoating.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about whatever. So your boy Brian B, let me share shit with you. I think that the reason why I don't firmly agree with transgender sports mixed with female sports is because I do believe that the biology and the chemical makeup of a man and a woman are different. And I'm not saying that in any disrespectful way. I'm not saying anybody can't feel the way that they feel, anybody can't be the way they feel. But I do think when you're doing competition and you have competitive sports, especially when there's money
It's not
involved,
fair to
especially
the females. It's
it
it's not
it
fair to them because you don't realize how much loopholes they've got to do to get
exactly
to that sport.
exactly yo
Like women's sports don't get the pay that like male sports get, and people don't
exactly
realize that. A lot of people look at, I mean, don't get mad at me, people. Don't get mad at me. A lot of people look at women's sports as a joke sometimes. Like
mm.
WNBA, great example. Not a lot of people watch WNBA, and I don't
It's
care
just
what
I
you
don't
say.
yeah I don't think it's just not as popular, like
It's
it's not
not.
as
You
popular,
don't
yeah,
you
it's
don't get
not
it
as
showcased as
publicized,
much as everybody would think. Like
yeah,
honestly, people still have to have a job if you play in the professional leagues of basketball for
yeah,
women.
yeah,
And that's sad in many ways. Like
yeah, yeah,
these
I
girls,
get that.
it's talent. Like I from me going from me coming from pro wrestling and going into the world of flag football. I'm telling you right now, that is the most intense women's sport I've ever seen. Like
Mm,
these women can beat dudes, and I mean, I'm playing guys that have played in the NFL, played in a very high profile sport in their past,
yeah,
and they all go and play flag football. I see women mossing grown men.
oh
I
yeah,
see women bodying out grown men for the ball. I see
yeah,
women scoring touchdowns, juking these guys, throwing touchdowns over men. And and I'm not talking about like big, bulky, buff women. I'm talking about
exactly,
really
yeah,
beautiful
skill,
looking
bro,
women
yeah, it's
coming out
skill,
there
man.
and just having athletics ability. Like I tell people, you know, it's open. It is an open field. Like there is a lot of girls, a lot of women that can be complete competitors
Yo,
in male sports and stuff like that.
but this is
And
what
when
I
you
don't
talk about the
understand.
transgender standpoint, it's it's disgraceful.
This is what I don't
Honestly,
understand. I don't
think of a
understand.
comedy movie, Joanna Man. It was a funny comedy,
Yeah, but
but the
that's
ending,
that's like
it's like a
Joanna
joke.
Man, Ladybugs. But that's back in the
Exactly.
day. That was like that's
That was
like
a
how it
joke.
was looked at. But yeah, but realistically now, like we're taking serious. That trans people they have a right to feel however they want to feel. Like if they feel like that's what they feel. I can't. Who the fuck is somebody to tell them no? You can't feel like that.
Right.
But where we can have an understanding and still be reasonable is we have to also understand there is a percentage to say, let's just say the fucking, not going against anybody. I'm sorry to even say this, but I'm going to say it. I need to make a point. But let's just say The Rock woke up today, and he woke up and he said, "Listen, I want to fucking be a woman. I want to be Roxanne instead of The Rock." And I love The Rock, my fucking favorite. Listen, but I'm just saying, just rock with me here. Let's just say
You
that
couldn't say CM
he
Punk.
did I needed a big fucking dude, like everybody know, you know what I mean? But let's just say he did that and he put his shit on or whatever, and he said, "Listen, now I'm gonna go sign up for women's fucking soccer or something like that." And this big
Oh
ass
Lord.
dude, all this
Playing soccer.
testosterone, all this years of fucking masculinity, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't know the chemistry like that, but I know it's chemistry there. That he's going in with against people who don't have that. Even if it is the strongest fucking females of the fucking competition, no matter what. The Rock fighting Ronda Rousey, an amazing fighter, but there's a part of me. I mean, if he had her skill, I don't think she gonna dominate him like the way she may dominate somebody who's kind of equivalent. So I do think that
Mm-hmm.
there is a balance that has to be kind of at least understood. At least understood. So why?
Yep.
Here we go. I'm not even just throwing out a fucking perspective without even a solution. Why the fuck we can't just have transgender sports, yo? Why can't it be like, okay, so this is going to be, I'm not trying to exclude nobody. I'm saying, why can't we make something so it's equality? Like, why does
Make
it
it
have to
make it
be?
equal. Make it
I don't
equal. Yeah.
understand, man. It just doesn't make any sense. I understand some people want to say, oh, there's not enough, maybe this, maybe that. You know what I'm saying? When
I
it
mean,
comes
you
to
could put that on
sports,
the LGBTQ channel, like
I'm
how
saying, why
so many
not?
different things, and
Bro,
that could bring a different approach to stuff like
it
that.
doesn't
A lot
make
of
any
people don't
sense,
realize
man.
that.
Yeah.
But I
You
will
don't have
say
men and
this:
women together
if
with
you
fucking,
make you don't like, I will say this: you have every right to choose whatever you want to be. Absolutely a choice though. But you also got to realize there is going to be repercussions, and you
yeah,
also got to realize there is going to be critiques. And that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. Like, you could talk about me in every possible way, and it's not going to hurt me because I've been in a military family background. I've been, like, my dad has been so tough on me from day one. Like, my wife will tell you, I have no expression. Like, I got WrestleMania tickets when they were in Orlando, and I looked like I didn't even care, but I was excited because I just don't have expressions. And like it drives my wife nuts sometimes, but it's just how I've always been. And people have got to realize, yes, and I've even said this on the times, even when I come out talking about my child custody and stuff like that. I'm giving you my perspective. You could still judge me from whatever way you want to go, but I'm giving you my opinion on it, my perspective on it. Am I ever going to bring my kid's mom on this podcast and have her point of view on it? Probably not, because we just don't see eye to eye enough to even think
yeah,
about that. Like, it's just these things that people don't realize. You're going to still have to accept their critiques. Like, even when I was wrestling, even when I could tell I had a good match, somebody could tell me, oh, that was okay. Somebody
yeah,
could tell me, oh, you missed this and this, and that kind of just deteriorated their whole visual of watching the match. Like, people have to understand there is you have choices. You have every right to make that choice, but you also got to realize that path also leads to something that is not going to be something that you're going to like, or somebody's
yeah,
opinion is not going to be said. Like, people just got to realize you're going to have to take the punches. Like, I'm not sitting there saying, oh, you need to bash this person for doing this and no,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
have to understand, you have to have a tough skin. And
Yo,
This
But Warren,
generation terrible
listen,
about it.
listen, bro. Listen. See, this is a fucking really interesting. This is my show right here. Feels like this is the type of shit we talk about. This the web show right here. This is free talk for me right here.
We haven't even talked about SummerSlam or anything,
Listen, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we still gotta talk about that stuff. But listen, the interesting thing is, I think like how you think. I think like how you think. I think that immediately. I say this shit all the time, bro. I'm gearing my kids up because I don't want them to be crushed by people's opinions. I don't want them to be beaten by people's perspectives. I want them to understand how to overcome it. Now, this is where I have like I said before, I'm changing how my thought process is. I have the understanding now to get why it's different. It is different,
Yep.
man. We have so many more ways to reach people at
Yep.
24 hours a fucking day, man. We can't have the mentality that we used to have when it was easy. When you used to go to school, when we used to go to school, get out of school, and then you go to fuck home, and you were done with school. You know what I'm saying? You were done with that shit until you went back to school the next day. Now you go to school, you come home, and you bring school with you. You bring the people that were in school with you. You bring the people that went to school last year with you. Everybody's fucking connected. You can get off
That's
the
like
internet.
work.
But exactly. Well, I mean, and to a degree, like even there's some jobs you go to McDonald's, you
Yeah.
go to fuck home, you ain't bringing that home with you, like unless you're the boss, maybe. But I'm saying it's just a different life that is involved now. So it's like for certain people, the reason why these extremities are real, at least my perspective, Brian B's perspective, yo, you have to understand the criticism that people are dealing with now, whether it be women that are going through like feeling like they're imperfect because of these models and these images that are portrayed to show them in ways that you can never feel like good enough is good enough. You got the most beautiful women consistently trying to get all these changes and make all these fucking upgrades and advantages, and they're already fucking beautiful, but they don't know it because they're always being compared to the images that they're seeing
Yep.
consistently. And you have that constantly. Then you have kids. Kids don't never feel like they're doing enough. Kids don't never feel like they're being enough because they're
It's
seeing,
gotten really bad with the kids now.
bro,
That's the sad
they
part.
want to be fucking on TikTok and have 7,000 followers like Jenny's friend Susan or whatever. And then so they don't feel like they're good enough. They feel like they have to. It's constant competition because you have constant imagery. I sound like a fucking scientist right now, but I'm not trying. I just really understand. I think I really understand it, yo. You constantly have the visual. You constantly have the connection. Everybody's constantly connected 24/7. So when it is come to like the trans community or the young people who feel like maybe I'm a little more feminine than what most guys would be consider manly or whatever. So now instead of just going to school and dealing with people me being different towards them, now I'm consistently everything I do. I can't have a Facebook page. I can't have an Instagram. I can't have a
Yep.
TikTok because everybody's saying, "Oh, you look like this." So that's why the monitoring comes in, and you have to sit there and try to stop it. But then it gets over fucking dramatized because then you can't say simple shit. I said I forgot what I said something on a post, and I got a message from TikTok, and literally it was like it was something like "bitches be tripping." Or I said something like that where it was like a collective thing, and I was being funny. I was just like, it was like a thing that I was like repeating off of something. And they blocked me for it. They they they
They
they they,
blocked you for it?
they took it
Yeah.
off. They
I've
monitored
heard.
the
Yeah.
thing. So I'm like, any other time, bro, like you would have saw my context, you would have saw how I said it, and it would have been like, oh, that's what he's saying. It doesn't matter. But because you can't structure it so like individually, you have to kind of structure it over like the general consensus.
It's like you're
You
walking on
have to
eggshells.
with everything, but you have to because if you didn't, just think of the amount of people who would be offended, or the people who would offend. So just imagine if you sat back on a computer and it was back in fucking 2010 and you got on your computer and you could tell everybody exactly how you feel. Man, fuck you. I don't care. Your mother sucks dicks. This and that. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine the world we would live in right now. And of course, because of that structure and because that's been kind of, curved, now you have people who are so sensitive because now, even though we have kind of put barricades up so people can't just say anything to you, now you're trying to make shit. Everything is so now you can't even say, "Shut up, John," and then Johnson, "Shut up." I mean, like, listen, bro. He just,
Sad
we're,
face. Hurt
we're,
my
yo,
feelings.
playing
Heartbroken. Oh my
therapy.
gosh.
Bro, listen. It's, but the thing
And then
is, like,
Facebook will admire it, talking about,
bro,
hey, mental
nah,
health
bro.
matters, and
Yo, it's
which I'm
so
not. I'm
fucking
not tackling
crazy,
that
bro.
because I had mental health problems.
Shit,
Like
me
I've
too.
even told you on your show before about with my
Yeah.
son's situation and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I, I, I take stuff way differently.
Yeah.
Like that, it made me at my lowest to make me who I am now. And
Oh,
that's one
yeah.
thing that people don't realize is like you really can't say anything to hurt me anymore. Like legit. There's nothing to really say to hurt me anymore. But when it regards my son or my daughter, that's a different animal.
But that's
That's
it though.
when
But see,
that's
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 what's
the
crazy. That's
jerking
the
point.
fucking shit though. Yeah, but that's where no matter what, like everybody's got something, bro. Now listen,
Everybody's got one trigger, and that
everybody's got
has to be
something.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's got something, man. Whether it be your wife or your kids or however your
Yep.
family, whatever.
Of course, my wife too.
People
I
know how.
don't
Yeah,
want her. I don't want her sitting there like, oh, what about me?
get in trouble.
Babe, I love you. You got you. We got you.
But listen, yo, it's
I'll
like
sleep on the couch tonight.
it is it really is like that. Like you just said with mental health, like because that's a huge conversation. But it also is it's one of those things where it can
It's
be a
embracing
glorified
everything
topic, yo.
though.
It could be a glorified topic. It can be something where you have somebody who's really dealing with like, hey, listen, I lost my mom when I was young, and it gave me a hard complex on how to deal with death. It gave me a hard complex how to deal with this situation. And then you got somebody who's talking to you, his mental health. They got to take care of yourself. You got to prepare yourself, and they're absolutely right. But then here we go. Here's the crazy shit. Then you got the other person over here. I broke my pencil when I went to work today. My mental health is
Hashtag I'm
destroying me.
upset. I'm
Fuck,
heartbroken.
yo,
Like
we have to
what's
get to an
going wrong with
understanding.
me? Why's
I
my day hurt?
I
Like,
get it.
oh
I
my
get it.
gosh.
I get it. You have to say to yourself, like, this is what you have to say to yourself. This is what you have to, I guess.
I can't
Um,
stand people
what
that post
what
everything
did his
about their life.
pencil? What did his pencil mean to him? And this and that. Listen,
What
listen.
brand?
I don't fucking know. But I'm saying, like, yeah, I'll buy you some pencils, bro. Like, you can't tell me that is something that we can discuss and we have to be on the same kind of level as my man who just lost his job and his wife divorced him and moved to fucking California and he's in, Maine
Like
or
I
something
said,
like
man,
that.
it's
You know
always
what I
takes
mean?
that
Like,
that one legit bad person to ruin it for everybody.
it's fucking crazy, man. And
And
that's
that's
where
for
it's like,
anything. That's
there's
for
no, yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah. There's no levels, bro. Like things are just you have to try to. I think it's like we're kind of creating a world where, you get you have to counter it for and this is gonna sound mean, but honestly, you have to counter it for the stupid people. Like you really have to
Yep.
counter it for the stupid people. Somebody intelligent understands not to drive 100 miles an hour around cars swerving in and out the fucking lanes. An intelligent person knows that I might crash. I have my kids in the car. And I might crash into somebody. Their kids are in the car. Let me not just do that. It's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But a stupid person or a person who's just a risk taker or doesn't have that kind of concept, whatever you want to call it, has to be told, don't do that. It is dangerous. It is. Somebody has to be told, don't fucking stand on the ledge of this 140-foot story building. You could fall. Don't do that. People have to be told that shit. So, how do we have to structure the world? Let's structure the world. Please tell everybody. Don't fucking do it. Tell everybody. Nobody.
A big old block. Help.
Validate it. Bro, listen. That's how the shit is structured. You have to cater to the stupid. And it sucks to say it, but
I
it's true.
love that is going to be the title of this
It's
segment.
true.
Cater to the
You have to
stupid.
cater to the stupid, yo. And if you don't cater to the stupid, they can potentially infect the fucking planet. And if they infect the planet, then there's not going to be much of a planet left because it's
That's
fucking
like
doomed.
that's like a Resident Evil, like with COVID and stuff like that.
Hell yeah,
Who would have known the evolution of cooties would be a major
bro.
but
Listen,
like
man.
major just box office thing where you shut down everything.
Yeah,
And
that's a whole another situation right there. COVID shit.
it's insane like how things
COVID-mania,
we
baby.
put to that's insane. But Brian, we're gonna
Yeah.
take a short break.
Okay.
We will
Cool.
come back and we're gonna keep bringing it. So guys,
Yeah.
I know everybody's excited, I know everybody's enjoying this, but we're gonna take a quick break. Thank y'all.
was just last night as the entire country was tuning into its favorite talk show.
You simply makes you stranger.
VMAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Don't even know why I'm watching, cause it ain't funny when you right here. But I know you're going away, so I'm watching so we can stay here. I heard you trying to protect myself. I ain't making excuses, I'm just letting you know I understand why you live. It was toxic, bad for your health. You're trying so hard to love me, but I really couldn't love myself. I needed your patience, baby, with time. So whole time I really felt like I wasn't enough. Deleted all of your pictures, cause I can still look the fact. After all that we've been through, my baby's not coming back. I swear that I go down crying while I'm writing this track. I swear that I go down crying while I'm writing this track. Got more words, listen. Day one popped out, ain't nobody in this motherfucker fly than me. These bitches all in my DM, texting them back was good, but I ain't really trying to see them.
He said he accepted, and you know what? Nobody wants to see it because nobody remembers the American Prodigy. All this history, and nobody cares. But if you could find one, that's all I'm asking. If you could find one promotion that wants to put this on, I'll be there. I will be. There's no running. There's no running. Not at all. I will be there. Right in the center of the ring. You versus me. And then when I beat you, you'll understand that maybe wrestling wasn't for you. Maybe this is a good new career change. You're a podcaster. You're an influencer, social media.
What's up? Florida, 238 pounds.
All right, guys, we're back. I know we need a little break.
I was watching all your clips you got there, checking everything out.
Hey, man, trying to be a little bit more professional as much as possible,
Hey,
man.
that's what's up, man. Looks good. Looks good.
Hey, I had learned that. Shout out to my boy Blackheart on this. Like he told me he was like he done it on his show at first to help, if he had to go to the bathroom or something like that. And I'm
Okay.
like, that is the smartest thing to do because I
Yeah.
remember I would do like a straight hour episode, and I'm like, how much did I have to hold myself so I would not
Got it. Yeah, I
like
can
legit?
imagine.
You gotta do.
You know, it's crazy. Like, so my show, mine's not live. So I record and then I edit and I edit. You know, I got a whole bunch of shit. That's another reason why I like the live, because
Yep.
we're actually about to start doing videos, and we're gonna start watching
Okay.
videos on the show and actually talking about them. Like, there's a whole bunch of new ones that we have coming out. The Beeline is coming back next week. We'll have a new show coming out, but we're gonna watch some of the craziness, man, because there's a lot of really interesting videos, a lot of topics that I do want to discuss. We're gonna have some guests on. IT Tiff. That's my early co-host. She's coming
Mhm.
back on. That's my my wife. We got 3 kids together, and we're gonna talk about some of the crazy videos. My son Jay Flash, he's coming on. We're gonna talk about movie trailers and different games that are coming out. So we're gonna kind of be incorporating some of that. But that's one of the reasons why I love being able to edit my show.
Mhm.
And not have to worry about like kind of structure it the way I want to make it more of a show.
Yep.
Like, that's the reason why I didn't go with podcast. A lot of people have podcasts. Everybody's it's I think that mentality is starting to kind of have like where it is. You
Mhm.
know what to expect from a podcast. I want to do a web show. And I didn't even know if that was a thing. Like, I didn't know if that was like a actual definition, a term. But I Beeline web show. Entertainment show is a show. The Beeline web show is exactly what it is.
Mhm.
So that's just kind of like the structure of how I thought about it, man. I love being able to add sound effects and clips, and we have hey,
That Halloween episode, you went
listen,
all
yo.
in with that one. I
You
like
see
that.
him, you see him right there. He coming back this year. Yeah, I was just gonna say we actually we're getting started on putting together the Halloween episode, man. I have actually one of the big reasons I changed my studio around. Because yeah, I got a lot of big plans, and one thing that's crazy that you notice, Marlo, I don't know how much you're doing, but with the editing of these programs, man, like, I've gotten to a point where I love it, man. This is one of the things where,
Really?
yeah, I love it, yo. Even with the
It
entertainment
could be
show,
a hit
like,
or miss.
yo, it. You know what really got me loving it though was the Halloween episode, because doing
Mhm.
the editing and finding the sounds and the sound effects and putting it together, it's crazy how much you can do if you edit well. Because I can sit in this
Yes.
chair right here and then make it so that I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I got this happening behind me and I got this happening around me, or the sound goes in, the sound goes out, and I can make the most interesting shit just sitting in a chair. So it's like
Yep.
editing brings out so much more, like, dialogue. But I love it so much, man. I never knew I was gonna be like that. I'm trying to get into it, making it more of kind of like a business, incorporated within the
Right.
business.
Mhm.
Also,
I
like
see
you,
you
I
got
see
the
you.
merch and stuff too
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly. I'm trying to business wise, like you said, making it a little bit more professional. I want to put the shirts, man. If anybody want a Beeline Web Show shirt, we got the hats. Definitely get at me at my inbox me and stuff like that over social media. We're gonna have a lot more stuff coming out. We got a lot more things that are progressing. We about to do our 100th episode soon that are on the channel. Yeah, we have I think we're going to be hitting 100 episodes. I think right now we're at 70 at the web show, and we also have, I think it's
Mhm.
another like 20 on the Beeline Entertainment show. So 100 episode on
Brian
the
B's about to
channel.
come out and be my tag team partner, guys. My
Oh
last match
man,
is gonna be
listen,
my
yo,
tag.
listen, I'll fucking wrestle too. I don't care. I don't
AP
care at
and
all.
Brian B.
That was one of the things, yo. I love wrestling, man. I mean, I still. So I guess we might as well talk about, like, we ain't.
That's what I
That's
was
one of
about to
our
say. That's
things, and
why I got
you
into it
know it.
because I know you've been wanting to talk about wrestling.
Oh,
And
listen, I
guys,
love wrestling,
check
bro.
out the Beeline web show.
Yeah,
I gotta definitely get that right.
it's
Web
cool.
show. Um, we were on a Thursday. It was called the Show Off Entertainment one, and we were going to talk about SummerSlam. We
Mm.
basically only were able to talk about
It's
one
so much
match.
change. It's so much change. That's why though, because it's literally like it was we were talking about that, and I was definitely gonna do it like it was gonna be just just a SummerSlam review. But so much happened. Triple H had just took over the company.
Just
Vince had just
literally, yep.
left. So it was like so much was to talk about, and it was like it was a great show. Like I loved the conversation. It was really good. But it did open up and it made me see like man like where wrestling's going now is so interesting, man. It's like
It's
you know
it's being exciting to be a wrestling fan again.
unreal, man. It's like right back in the day where it was you had WWF and you had WCW and you enjoyed watching both programs. I watched
Mhm.
WCW for NWO and then I watched WWF for DX, and I like that was just it was fun to be a
Mhm.
fan like you said, man. um but now we getting back into the game where it's getting a little raunchier. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Fuck it, let's talk about
Yep.
it.
Triple
Yo,
H is bringing a different, edgier side of
don't
WWE.
you listen, did you watch Raw this week?
Yep.
Okay, so I watched most of it. I sometimes I get through Raw, sometimes I don't. It's just a little too long. I got a lot of shit I'm doing. But
3 hours is a long one. I
one
watch it on Hulu. I watch it on Hulu. It's
oh
only
you
2 hours.
do. Got it. Okay, okay, yeah. I try to watch the 3 hour. I try to watch it. I always catch the beginning, but I always kind of fall off during like the live thing. The one thing I really, really hope Triple H really concentrates on bringing back is the big main event on Raw and SmackDown. They do have main events, but you a lot of times you're not finding out what the main event is until like damn near the end of the show. The main event is something that used to be established like at the beginning. Like, yo, tonight you're about to see,
I-
John Cena fight The Rock, and you're like, holy shit, I can't wait to watch. I watched this whole damn episode just to see
It's
that
like it's
last
like a
match.
boxing match. Like you legit watched it for a boxing promo
Prelims, you
type
watch
build
everything.
up.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like when I watched Raw this week, Raw's been phenomenal. SmackDown's been I actually think Raw's been a little bit better than SmackDown recently.
The
Um,
entertainment wise, it has for
Bro,
sure.
yo, you know what bugged me out? You know what match I was really excited about when I saw it? Fucking Dolph Ziggler versus
And Finn,
Finn Balor.
yep,
Yo,
they
Dolph Ziggler,
delivered.
tell me
They
if you
delivered.
agree with me. Tell me if you agree with me, bro. I always said Dolph Ziggler is this generation's Shawn Michaels, yo.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, to the T, to the T. Same kind of dialogue, same kind of performance. I
Just
mean, to
his
the way he
character.
sells,
There's no character
everything.
with Dolph. That's the only bad part
Dolph
with
is a
Dolph.
fucking
Like
beast, man.
Dolph
Yeah, Dolph
reminds
is
me
a
kind of
beast.
like a Kenny Omega. Like Dolph can do any move, any move, any at all.
Yeah.
Like I would say Dolph is kind of like a Bret Hart, this generation's type Bret Hart. Like Dolph is your workhorse. Dolph is the guy that you can move around mechanically,
Okay.
whatever. He can bring any type of style of the match. Um, actually, I wouldn't say Bret Hart.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brett is that. I mean, Brett is
I
a
think
Brett
Daniel
is a
Bryan
he's,
is the Bret Hart now. I think Daniel Bryan would be
I
that
don't know about I
comparison.
don't I think that's too deep. Daniel Bryan, I don't think he got the same caliber. Bret Hart, if I'm remembering Bret Hart, like we talked about it on my show too. Bret Hart was known for, like you said, the best he was, best there is, best there ever will be. But Bret Hart used to always he had such great preparation in his match, man. Like we were
Hmm.
saying, he you knew Brett was going for the legs. You knew Brett was going to move out the way when the guy was jumping off the top rope.
And
You knew
that's where that impact would come with the submission. Like
exactly
you don't see that excitement with submissions anymore.
that build. Yeah,
And that's one thing I love about Dolph. Dolph can do a submission type match. He can do a high flying
yeah,
match. He can do a technical, like Dolph can do an amateur type wrestling match, and you
yeah,
still get enthused with it.
yeah,
And I mean, Finn is just a freaking nature, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Finn is.
He's good, man. He's really good.
It's
He's
crazy how old that man is. Like this dude looks
yeah.
like he's in his
He's like
20s.
40, isn't he?
He's
I think
almost, yeah.
yeah.
He's
Oh,
like
oh, I think
44,
he's like 40,
45 right now.
43. Yeah, 43 or 44. Yeah.
He signed a WWE contract at 38 years old.
Hey, listen. I mean, Finn Balor is incredible, bro. I think that they played him. They definitely played him. They didn't really give him a lot of shine, and I think that once he did get to the main roster, because I didn't follow him when he was on NXT. I didn't really
Really?
follow NXT at all.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I didn't follow NXT at all. But when he got there, I knew of him because other people that I enjoyed watching
Yeah,
wrestling
yeah,
with was telling me about him. So I was like, okay, let me look for this guy. And then I started kind of getting the background on him and everything like that or whatever. And then I understood when he did get to the main roster, he had that injury that kind of sidelined him because he did get the fucking title immediately, pretty much. But after that sideline, bro, you
Triple
know
H
how
wasn't
Vince
playing
is.
about Finn.
Hell
Triple H
no.
was not playing about Finn.
But Vince sidelined him, yo. I mean, I'm saying it like I was there and shit, but but I mean, it just seems like,
You're not the first, and you'll
bro,
never be judged on. Like I hear it numerous times. I mean, it's a hit or miss, and I've tried to speak on this been plenty of times. You know, everybody wants to be John Cena, but won't be able to do the work that
hell
he
no.
does.
Yeah.
And
Or or
that's
or,
one thing
or be
about
him. I
Finn.
mean,
That's one thing
honestly.
about all these guys. It's great to be the champ. And I think Drew McIntyre had a great example of it too. Drew his match that he won the title was good. It was good, but it wasn't oh my god, blowing moment because guess what? It was in front of nobody.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
was
even if it
not that
was,
type of visual.
I think even
But
if it was in
Drew
front
was
of
not
people,
that
bro, it wouldn't have been
he was
shit
not
either.
that champion that could go to town and promote you and sell tickets.
I
Like
still don't think he is.
I think
I'm
he's a
not a
better heel
fucking
than he is
fan,
a
yo.
face.
I definitely,
I don't like him on the mic. I don't like
bro.
him on the mic. Period.
I've said it before. I've said it before, bro. Look, in wrestling, bro. I mean, it's very few that are made big that aren't heels, yo. I mean, think of every single character that
Drew would
ever
be a
has been
great
an
heel.
amazing. I think
Great heel.
he was a great heel. That pair with Dolph Ziggler and fucking Drew McIntyre when they first put him in.
Oh, I
That
loved it.
bro, Shawn Michaels and Diesel. It was the
Mm-hmm.
same shit. I mean, and it literally was Shawn Michaels and Diesel. It was that same fucking combination. But when he was that version, I thought he was good. I was looking forward to him kicking people's ass. I was looking forward to somebody
Mm-hmm.
kicking his ass. But then when he turned good, he's corny on the mic. He's fucking corny on the mic. His
He's
character
got
is
Hogan
lame.
promos.
Bro, he's fucking corny, man. I don't even know. You can call it whatever you want.
No, but I'm saying
I
like he's
don't like
got
the
like
way
that 80s. He has like that 80s bodybuilder style promos,
it's
and
like he
they're
brings to the crowd. Like it's fucking lame, yo.
it's stale. It's really stale. Like
Yeah.
his move set.
Sorry, Drew.
I've
Sorry, man.
I've I Nah, I'll be honest. Like I've sat there and looked at it plenty of times. I was like, I don't see Drew as a babyface. I've
I
always
don't see
saw
it.
Drew as a bad guy. That's like Triple H. I love the fact that they gave him that pop in Madison Square Garden, which
Oh
still is
man,
probably the biggest pop that was ever in wrestling right now. I don't care what
it's
you
pretty
say.
big.
Triple H had the biggest pop in the whole federation just from him coming back from that torn quadricep
Man,
because
yeah,
people knew of what he had to go through to get back into that ring.
yeah. People
And
love Triple H, man.
but Triple H was 10 times a bad guy than he was a good guy. He
Yeah,
sold more tickets as a bad guy than a good guy.
yeah. They held that whole Helmsley McMahon regime era
You just
shit
gotta know when to you gotta
phenomenal, bro.
know where your place is. And like I would use an example like Stone Cold. Stone Cold still says it to this day. He should have never turned heel in his hometown
Bro,
against The Rock at WrestleMania 17.
I
He should
think
have dropped the title to The Rock clean and it would have been it.
I
Not
think that he could have did it, bro. Yo, listen. The thing with Stone Cold was the thing that made Stone Cold, so great.
it
Of
was
course,
like watching Becky Lynch. You could not hate him. You
yeah,
could not hate him.
they did her corny though. It's a way to do it though. It's like Stone Cold's situation was. I think it was the worst time to make him heel because of the whole invasion angle was going on. I think if the the psychology behind it, turning Stone Cold to work with Vince McMahon, I think that shit would have went over a lot better than it did if it was a different time. I think if they really would have did it and had Vince McMahon back in this guy who was kicking his ass forever, and then they turned Stone Cold into this person that you hated because he was everything. He changed from everything that you love, the exact opposite. I think that
That's what
chemistry.
happened with
I
The
think,
Rock. That's
bro,
how people got invested with The Rock.
no. People left The Rock after Rock. They turned on Rock when he fought Hogan at fucking Mania because
No,
that
I'm
was.
talking way before. I'm talking about when Rock first developed the Rock character
I got you. Yeah,
is
yeah.
based
Rocky
off of
Maivia.
fans
Yeah,
hating the Rocky Maivia
yeah. They
character.
hated that
And
motherfucker,
then
bro.
when he left the nation and Vince was making his life a living hell in that King of the Ring tournament, which that's still one of my favorite King of the Ring tournaments. because it was so captivating. You were so excited to see, oh man, who's going to win this tournament? Like, can The Rock prevail? Like, my goodness, they're putting all the odds against The Rock. And then that finish at the end of the tournament where he just hugs Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah. That was all him and Mankind, right? That was when he
Yep.
yeah, The Rock and Mankind's their feud was legendary, man. People don't talk about it as much, but that's one of the best feuds in
Crowd
fucking
was
wrestling.
like this. This is where I feel like it's slowly coming back.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
got to get the character based wrestling back. That is
That's what's
what
important. That's what's
focusing,
important.
that's what makes wrestling what it is. I don't
Yeah,
care what, this is coming from a wrestler's perspective. Anybody, if you say I'm wrong, come on here and tell me. I'm
yeah.
speaking
It's
of somebody that's been in the ring for 6 years and has done this thing. Anybody could do the moves. I don't care who you are. Anybody could do the
yeah,
moves. You making the audience care is what the hardest thing of wrestling is to be.
yeah, man.
If you can make the audience care, you've done your job. And I'm not saying, oh, just one time. I'm talking, you have to make that audience care about you
Every
every
time.
building, every town you are in.
Yeah,
Because that's how you get paid sometimes, is because how much of a house you pay off in there. How much of a ticket is coming to see, yours truly, or such and such. Like, or guess what? Promoters are going to have to cut your pay because now, guess what? They got to go get old WWE guys, old name guys, because they've got to draw that house of what they brought.
but that's the
Because
importance. That's the importance of building characters and building stars, man. And it's not just about. It is a structure to it, like we're talking now about the heels and the faces and how you makes people care about you. You make people care about you. Like Liv Morgan is a perfect fucking example. Everybody was interested in seeing Liv Morgan get the title. Why? Because she was an
in
underdog.
turn,
Because she was somebody who was like, oh man, we've never seen her have the belt. She deserves it. She's been here. She's been busting her ass. We all know she has. We all know she loved wrestling when she was young. Blah 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 blah. But when that shit happens, then what do? We gotta be real. She ain't a fucking a title holder right now, man. I'm not saying she can't be, but this is the thing. This is the same shit I said with Biggie. This is the same shit I said with every fucking wrestler.
yep,
If you're going to take a wrestler and make them be a champion, but they were never established as a champion. You can't have that never established champion be champion and expect everybody to see him as a fucking champion.
that's
You
like
need to go
that's
through
like
the
saying like
progression. Like, you got to
that's like saying
change the
dialogue is like,
music, change
okay,
the character, change the fucking outfit, change
yeah,
everything, make it different. If, like I said, I just said on the last show we did, if they would have had Big E take that fucking title, and finally, I was happy when Big E got the title, but let's be real.
but
What
we
did they
already were
do?
told. We
They
already
they
were told.
repackage him. They put him in this in a fucking same singlet. They basically changed his music a little bit, but he was still Big E. You used to him being the New Day. You used to him this. Now he's the New Day guy with the title. Nah, make him fucking elevate. Make him turn on the New Day. Make him be something completely different, bro. You know somebody who did that shit that I wasn't even really around for it because I really didn't like this era, this fucking ruthless aggression era when it started getting later in like the 2010s. I wasn't in it.
You talking
But
about
you know
Orton?
who had a great fucking transition? JBL, Bradshaw. Fucking
Yeah, yeah.
Bradshaw started off with not the smoking, no, not
He
the
was the
smoking
top
guns.
heel that year too. He
He
was
was,
the guy that year.
bro,
He
yeah,
went
but
from
his
nobody to
character,
literally,
I didn't even know that was fucking when I was watching it because I was watching it on and off. I didn't even know that was Bradshaw. And I'm like, wait a
because
minute,
he
this is
cut
a
his
whole
hair,
new
everything. He
guy.
changed his whole
No,
look.
listen, it's not complicated, man. It's like just invent, like you said, it's gotta be characters. You can't give Liv Morgan the belt and then have her be the same Liv Morgan that's been in 15 fucking tag teams. And now I just been in 15 tag teams with the belt on my. Why should I care? If you was gonna do that, them booing her was probably the greatest thing in the fucking planet. They could have invested in that. They could have said, "Fuck y'all, y'all turning on me, I'll turn on all y'all." She could have came out there, snuck in matches, and fucked everybody up. Made a name. Said, "Y'all booed me, so you want to boo me? Boo me now." People would have wanted to boo her, and then they would have talked shit about her, and it would have blew
Yep.
up. That's the shit. I don't understand why they
It's
can't. Even
sad.
both
It's so
ways,
sad
bro.
because
It can
those
go
are the
both
simple
ways.
things. This is the simple things that wrestling has turned so far from, and it's made it so easy to predict.
Yeah. Well, Triple H is changing it a little bit. Triple H is
That's
doing
what
it
I'm
a little
saying.
bit
Like,
better. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not,
yeah.
I'm not just saying, Triple H is making everything great again. I'm
Yeah.
talking as wrestling as a whole, and this has been one bad thing, and this is one reason why it was so hard for me to go, do I even want to go back in the ring or something like that? Because it's not just in the big time wrestling. Everybody's seeing this now. We got to go do thousands of moves every show. We got to do all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, so what's the finish? Oh, it's going to be what we did in the opening. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? That doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
those things, it's gotten so I tell people all the time, wrestling is evolved as just as much as the society has now. Like with kids, if you invest the kids and you teach them at this young age, hey, this is what is approached, this is what it needs to be done. Guess what? That's how they're gonna do this stuff. That's how they're gonna look at it. So now you got all the indie guys saying, "Oh, I'm seeing this on AEW. Oh, I'm seeing this on New Japan Pro Wrestling. All this, I'm gonna do all that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah,
I can be seen and stuff."
yeah.
And I've seen numerous people get cut from WWE, from the training.
Yeah. Something.
Go ahead.
Roman Reigns. Okay, listen. I always liked Roman. All right, I'm gonna be real with you. If you ask me who was my favorite dude in the Shield, it was fucking Dean, bro. I think Dean stood out
Oh,
the
I
best.
hated Dean. I
I
hated
think
Dean.
that's why. That's why. Seth Rollins was quiet. He didn't really talk much when he was in the Shield. Roman was just the big dude, and you knew he was the big dude of the group. He was the muscle. But Dean, his delivery, his in-ring ability, everything about him spoke to you. When he was talking like the Joker in the camera, like everything about him made you want to know this guy. Who the fuck
You
is
made
this?
it made you invest into the Shield
Bro,
and made you go,
it brought
there's a
the
different
Shield.
look. Like
Nobody
everybody
talks to
thought
Seth
Dean was
Rollins,
going to
bro.
turn.
Yo,
Everybody thought Dean was going to be the bad guy and turn on the Shield. And
I
found
didn't
out
know.
Seth did it. Like
Yeah,
Seth
yeah.
never
I
gave
was
you
surprised. I
any,
was surprised by that. Yeah, I
and
was surprised by that.
that's what we call suspense, and that's
Yeah,
what we don't have anymore.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and I think that was the cool thing about Cody coming back at Mania. It was still, even though you knew about it, you couldn't believe it because you're like,
Because he
Cody
was
created
AEW.
AEW.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
And
when
Cody
that
was
happened,
like,
you're like, no, this did not.
yeah,
I did not
yeah,
just hear Kingdom. No, I did not.
yeah.
Oh, Cody just came out the ramp. Oh no. That's that is the suspense. Even though you knew about it, it still happened. You still find a way to connect with it.
Yo,
Those are the things
Warren,
people
let
are
me ask
not
you something,
realizing.
yo. What
Go ahead.
do you think? Do you think? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I like Cody Rhodes, right? But do you think he's going to be as big as people trying to making it seem like he's going to be in WWE? Honestly,
If he changes his wrestling style, I would say yes.
one of the things that made Cody so successful is he went out there and he was hungry as fuck in the Indies when he left
He
WWE, bro.
did
He
everything. You
he
cannot say
made
one bad
his
thing about this
name
guy. He went from bottom
to
to
top.
literally the most talked about name for
Yeah.
6 freaking months.
Yeah. Changed the
6 months.
hair, white hair. He was a different look.
Changed his
He had a
hair.
different
I
persona.
hated the fact he changed his hair because I
Bro.
was like, bro, why are you feeding into that? Because I was like, you sat, and the biggest thing about Cody for the longest time, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Goldust,
And I mean,
one of the most slept on fucking wrestlers because of his gimmick. Goldust is fucking phenomenal
he
wrestler, bro.
changed it. And
He is an
and he made
incredible
it
wrestler, yo.
approachable. And then when they had Terry with him, it made it even cooler because you're like, oh, he acts like that, and he's still got this hot chick with him
Girl, yep,
every
yeah.
single day.
Very,
Like it
very
showed a
interesting.
different thing. Like you know who he remind me of, and it might sound a little sketchy or something. Reminds me of Prince.
Mm,
Prince did not look
yeah,
like
the
somebody
whole
that women would
flamboyant.
be all around.
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
That
guess what?
flamboyant
Prince
shit.
was getting girls left and right, just the way
That's
he dressed.
That's the whole that was what's it called? Not Buddy Rogers. What's his name? No, it was Buddy Rogers, wasn't it? The Beautiful back in the day. That's a like they all were coming out with that. I think that's his name. I don't remember. But yeah, they had like that same kind of guy with the curls in his hair, and it's like Goldust took it to a whole other level. Like, that I love the Goldust character. But for the
He didn't
character, like,
want to do it at first, but And he knew he
I
had to. He
guarantee.
knew
Love
he
that
had
shit.
to, or it was going to be a stale gimmick, and they were going to fire him left
He
and right.
also transformed it though, because remember, it was that really raunchy, sex kind of thing at
When
first,
he
but
kissed
then,
Ahmed,
oh man, yeah, remember that shit? I remember that. When he did, shit,
Ahmed
remember the
was
outfits
not
though?
happy.
Hell no. Ahmed Johnson sucked though. He was never. He was also somebody who was just. He was just big. He was
He,
big. He wasn't
he
no good ass wrestler. He was
I hope
fucking.
people don't get mad. He was the Black Goldberg. It's just he did not get the crowd invested into him.
Nah, yeah, he didn't. I mean, Goldberg. I mean, Goldberg's running WCW. I used to
Goldberg
watch
was a
WCW.
superhero.
I
That is
fucking
something people can't realize.
I
And
loved it.
and I will tell you, two of the top guys, gimmick wise, would be Goldberg and Ultimate Warrior. Not based off their moves, but their character.
Got it.
Their character is what impact. I mean, think of it this way: guys like Edge, Daniel Bryan, guys, their favorite wrestler was Goldberg. I mean, Ultimate Warrior. Like some of those matches that they saw with Ultimate Warrior, even though they're 1 or 2 minutes, that was so impactful because how he would run to the ring. He
Take the
looked like a
ropes.
damn
Yeah, yeah,
superhero
yeah.
completely.
It was different. That's
Like
why you liked Ultimate Warrior too.
when you watch these guys on video games now, Ultimate Warrior looked exactly how he is in a video game.
Yeah.
Straight muscle, like legit.
Hmm.
He was what Hogan was supposed to be. Like
Yeah.
Hogan's even approached it so many times. Hogan had a 2-pack. Warrior had a 12-pack,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
He was
mean
ripped.
24-inch
He was
arms,
ripped as
everything.
shit.
He had the hair. He had neon. Like he looked
Yeah. Streamers, the
a box
makeup,
office look.
and that wasn't. And back in the day, even that was even more like not real to what people still
That was
saw.
unreal to
And
think.
yeah,
Like
can you
unreal to
see?
see.
You can't even really name any other wrestlers. You know that at least I'm not like from Japan or whatever. But you can't really name too many in the old school WWF that had face paint, shit like that or whatever. It was only really him.
No,
Yeah, it wasn't. It
I mean
wasn't
you
too
got the
many.
Road Warriors and stuff like that, but I mean
Yeah. Like they're, shit, they're
it's
about the only
just
ones I can think
it's
of.
just that I'm not saying we need to bring the bodybuilding era back. I'm saying we need to bring characters back because that's what brings the longevity to the sport.
Yeah,
And for guys like me, and I'm very sure I can vouch for anybody that's a vet that's been in this ring more than a year or two, or 3 or 4, whatever you've been in there for, less is more. And the best thing I've been taught at a wrestling seminar, your character, you shouldn't even have to bump, and the crowd should care about you.
yeah. I believe that too. I think the character, like we're saying, like the character investment is what makes these guys, man. Literally,
Orange Cassidy.
you don't even have to be. It's a great. And listen, when I first saw it, I thought it was stupid,
I
but
thought it was the biggest
it's
joke ever, but
investment.
I watched it and I thought about it. I'm like, you know
I
what?
want to
He's the
watch it.
smartest guy out there.
I want to fucking watch it. I want to see him kicking the
I didn't
shins
understand the soft
off.
kicks, and then when I saw him actually legit fighting, I'm like, I think that kind of killed it.
It's
But
interesting,
okay, it
man.
showed,
It's
hey,
interesting. Yeah, it's like you said, man. It's interesting, bro. It stands out. You can't be scared to be interesting. Like you can't just think. Like I think I said this on the show before too. Vince McMahon said one time. He said there's too much wrestling in wrestling right now, and
yes,
everybody
he
tried to
agrees.
act like they didn't understand what the fuck he was saying. Oh, it's wrestling, duh. But if you try to take a second and understand what he's saying, he's not wrong. It's
No,
there's great wrestlers, there's phenomenal athletes. But when you talk about the characters and the investment, why am I going to go to the store and buy this action figure? Why am I going to go to the store and purchase this backpack with fucking whatever on it? Because of the character, because I love the Ultimate Warrior, because I love The Rock and the People's
or these
Eyebrow and the
fake
People's
titles.
Champ. Fucking love it, bro. I
Like, what are
love it.
you really gonna do with these titles? Like, I had, but like, what are you gonna do with? But it's
You
always gonna
can't.
have a story. It's like a baseball.
Yeah,
Like when you
yeah.
catch a baseball from like Barry Bonds or somebody like that. Okay, that's a Hall of Famer. That's the
Yeah,
reason why you have this baseball. Like
yeah,
it was a great day. Like, oh, you could always say, this was one of my favorite days with my dad or something like that. It brings a moment.
yeah.
That's what people don't realize, and that's one thing that we've failed so much on. We're so focused on, this instead of just this.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you
I
do
think
this, you're observing what's going around. You're observing what works and what doesn't work. And when you have a match card, I say this perfectly on independent pro on an indie card. If I was number one, okay, I'm gonna go a little edgier because guess what? I've got to get the crowd invested into getting the show started up. Like I'm the key starting up the ignition. I've got to get this
Mhm.
going. I've got to get the crowd invested in me. If I'm like match 4 or 5, I've got to sit back and observe what matches have happened. Okay, we got the high flying matches. We got this observed match. If I don't have a big story with the guy I'm working, I'm gonna have a funny skit with it because
Do you think Roman Reigns would be what he is right now? He didn't have Paul Heyman. And I don't mean background figure. I don't mean Paul Heyman working in the background as part of the corporation shit or whatever. I'm talking about if he didn't have Paul Heyman on TV with him, giving him that extra.
no, honestly
It's
no.
interesting.
Paul made
Man.
that character because I had to think back. I'm like, Paul Heyman didn't even show up until he was about to do a promo, and Paul did his promo,
I'm telling you,
and then he just
yo,
said finish and leave, and I'm like, that is the best way to do Roman because Roman was so portrayed. Oh my God, he gets killed on a microphone all the time.
you know what's
Now
even
you got
more?
Paul Heyman.
Listen,
Oh,
you know
bro, he
what's
could
even
go with
more?
anybody.
Paul Heyman made Brock
Paul
Lesnar.
Heyman's made too many characters, bro.
Paul Heyman made. I'm talking about on screen. I'm talking about visual.
Give this
I'm
man
talking
his
about
flowers.
the reason why these guys. I don't give a fuck what nobody says to you. Brock Lesnar, he's himself. Blah, blah. Listen. Brock, fucking Paul Heyman, being that manager position, made Brock Lesnar. Paul
It made him
Heyman
even stronger.
Paul Heyman made that fucking run that CM Punk had with the title. Paul Heyman made CM
Say
Punk's
that again.
run with
Say
that
that
title.
again. Say that
Yo,
again. I'm
I'm just
tired when
saying.
people say, Punk was
Just
this.
saying.
Punk was nothing
Paul
until he had
Heyman
Paul
made that
Heyman.
shit. Paul
When
Heyman
he had
made
Paul
fucking
Heyman,
CM Punk.
it changed a whole element.
I'm tell you, it was worth
Like,
watching him. He gives you that extra heat that you want to hate, and it's always heels. It's never faces. It's always heels. He gives you that extra heat that makes you not like
and
this guy, want to see him beat,
yep.
want to see him conquered with Brock Lesnar. But Brock Lesnar, of course, athlete wise, phenomenal. But Brock Lesnar's big ass can walk out there. Then why didn't Braun Strowman? You think if Paul Heyman
Braun's
would have
promos
jumped
were
on
like
Braun,
Drew McIntyre to me.
if Paul Heyman would have jumped on
Yes.
Braun, put Braun in a suit and tie, and said, when he takes this suit off, watch what happens. And Braun Strowman getting there, loosened up his fucking tie and his jacket, and just picked people up and threw them, we'd be talking
Yep.
about Braun Strowman, right? Yo,
Oh yeah.
it's all about the character.
That's
yo.
another
It's
reason why
all about the
Brock.
fucking character.
That's another reason why Brock, when he done his country boy gimmick, it was so impactful because you
Yeah.
didn't expect it.
It was
You're like,
different. It was
oh,
different.
he could talk. He
Yeah,
could talk on a mic.
Yeah.
He's not just screaming at somebody now.
Yeah.
And like his personality. How many people would have popped for a hillbilly type country boy
Oh.
gimmick like that?
You know
You're
why
not
that's
gonna
even
say
more?
nothing to this man.
Yo, Warren, you know why that's even more smart and intelligent? Look, this is kind of what we're dealing with this guy right here. You see this guy right here? See this my boy right here. No, that is?
Yep.
That's the Incredible Hulk. All right, listen, I'm gonna compare it. Ready? Brock Lesnar came out with that whole that whole country cowboy Brock Lesnar shit, right? That kind of downgraded him. That no matter how you look at it, that downgraded him. Brock Lesnar was a fucking animal. When he used to get in the ring from the first time he appeared, like 2002, to the point where when he came back and he destroyed John Cena, like fucking 500 suplexes on SummerSlam, almost broke Triple H's arm, or did break Triple H's arm.
And Shawn
He
Michaels.
was a conqueror. That's right, and Shawn Michaels. He was a conqueror. That when he came out of the UFC and he had the gloves on and the fucking Jimmy John shorts, he was destroying people. All right, that was the Brock Lesnar
Until
we knew.
Taker's streak, bro. That's
That was the
still
Brock
crazy to
Lesnar
me.
Taker streak. That was the Brock we knew. But what do you have now? The Brock Lesnar that can be beat. You have the Brock Lesnar. He's fun. He's still tough. He's still Brock Lesnar, but he can be beat now. It's not a shock when you see Cowboy Brock get beat, but it's a shock when you see the Beast incarnate, the Brock
Get beat.
Brock. Yep. The reason why I compared it to the Hulk, because Marvel got fucking up my boy, but you got Professor Hulk. If you don't know, that is a character from the comics. Professor
Yep.
Hulk is the merge of him and fucking David Banner. It's not the strong, unfucking, breakable Hulk.
Unleashed
World
Hulk. Yeah,
Breaker
yeah.
Hulk. It's Professor Hulk. Now people are pissed because you're not seeing the Hulk like we know him. The fucking I'm stronger when I'm mad or I'm a beast, but that's not that Hulk. So now you have potential. I mean, Brock is old now, but he still can come back if he shaved that shit off his head and shaved the thing and came back. Didn't have Brock Lesnar even, but you saw him come back as old school Brock Lesnar. You have the same energy, even though Roman beat him with everybody, whatever. You have, oh shit, everybody. You're going to feel that way immediately because of one simple character change. If the Hulk takes them fucking glasses off, you're going to be like, oh shit. You're not going to think
Yep.
he's still going to get beat up like Professor Hulk. You're going to be like, oh man, you know what?
Yep.
It's that simple, bro. Finn
That's why I
Balor,
tell
when he
people,
was
bro,
on the demon shit,
if you gonna
bro,
watch wrestling, like, just think of it as like a movie. And Vince brought it out so freaking well. And I'm not saying Vince has been doing a great job recently, and I always have that argument with so many people. Vince knew what to bring a product. Vince knew what ratings were going in. Now, is it always great ratings? No. But guess what? Your negative feedback, everything is still ratings to him. That's the problem people didn't understand. The funny thing is, even though Vince was running the wrestling ordeal and stuff like that, WWE still was at number one.
it was all that was there. It's by default. You feel
It
me?
was it was it was
The
always
thing I
number
think,
one. Now
the thing
that
I think
Triple
with
H has
Vince,
got
man,
what it's doing now, AEW should just be like, I mean, Triple H and Stephanie are already talking to the roster on AEW's roster, tampering around with them. And you
I
got
mean,
Tony
I don't
Khan
blame him.
walking on eggshells, upset. Yeah, it's proven. Tony sent an email to Stephanie and Triple H, and basically saying, "Stop tampering with my roster." Tony does not take critiquing good at all. Tony doesn't take, all right, if it's not amazing to him, it's a problem. And those are the things that I said from day one that's going to cause him to have that WCW Rumble. Eric Bischoff has been getting under his skin for like a year and a half now. And
He's
Tony's lost
smart.
his mind on so
He
many
get
things.
Eric Bischoff. I think if they're smart, bro, I think that Eric Bischoff would be perfect in fucking AEW. I think that would be somebody that they need to have in their corner
They
just for
tried to
the
do
name.
it, but Eric didn't want anything to do with it
That
just
sucks, man.
because of how Tony approaches it, and he's even said it. Like I've said it numerous times. People don't like what I say. Tony is a fanboy, and and if he does not keep it as a business perspective, it's going to kill the product. Because great example, CM Punk right now. CM Punk was your best achievement that AEW had. Not
That
what was
was
it?
it
2 days
was a big one.
ago was the last dance for Punk coming in Chicago, and I said, you know what? I watched it because I just wanted to see what the crowd was going to react
Gonna
to.
do.
Because,
That's the
but the
whole
sad
image
thing
right there.
was, the thing that pissed me off with that whole scenario, you already got the fans screaming CM Punk. You already got the fans
Because you knew it.
already
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was saying
That was
earlier.
my problem. They should
Yeah.
have teased that and showed him at All In.
Yeah, I guess that's a good. That's definitely. Yeah,
That
I
would
mean,
have. You imagine how much that crowd would have just lost it
bro, I'm telling you right now. Like I
because
said
it's
earlier,
not
man.
predetermined. You're not.
Yeah,
You're not already expecting it. And the only reason why Cody's was so impactful, and we've already said it, was because what he done with AEW. You didn't think
yeah,
he was going to jump ship, and I
yeah,
said it from the beginning. I saw how he was doing his entrance and everything. I said Cody's repackaging himself because he knows he's going back. He wanted
yeah.
to
I
prove to
didn't even
people
follow him in
that he was
AEW,
going to
so I
come
didn't really
back.
know too much. I know I saw the matches he did where he had that match with Goldust, and I thought that was phenomenal. And
Oh,
then
I love that match with him and
yeah,
Dustin.
that was
I
a
still
phenomenal
say
match.
people think I'm crazy. That is still the best feud that AEW's had.
Yeah, see,
Best
I
the
don't watch
best
AEW
story
that
that
much.
they done with it.
I follow the
I will
stories, but
say
I don't really watch it as hardcore.
I
I'm a
felt it.
WWE guy, bro. Like that's just like where I'm at. Like I said, in
See,
the past I was
I love
WCW.
wrestling. Obviously, from me being in the independent wrestling, I
Yeah,
learned that there was so much more.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I've gotten more into MLW. Shout out to my boy Alex Kane, Alex Hammerstone. These guys that I've seen on the indies, grow and make this a freaking powerhouse wrestling promotion now. Like
Yeah.
MLW is really, really under the radar. Now the production standpoint is what's
MLW.
going to be the down, huh?
MLW.
Yeah, they actually wrestle out in Atlanta. Actually, I think they got a couple of shows coming out in Atlanta. My
Oh, I'm
boy
gonna
Alex
look
King,
them
he
up.
lives out in Atlanta. Character I wish would actually have a chance to come back. If he is not proven guilty, Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, I didn't follow him too hard. I knew about him. I saw a couple of things with
He
him.
would
He
have
did
a
have a
Cody
good character.
Rhodes
Yeah,
dilemma in wrestling. He would
he
be
was
the
kind of
John
like a.
Cena right now.
He was kind. Of, you think what? That's heavy
No,
right
I'm
there.
saying this right now. Velveteen Dream,
John Cena.
when he was on NXT, he had radar shaking. Like his character, he brought a different approach. He literally was like, if Goldust could have been like The Rock or something.
That's what I was.
Like he
That's
had
what I was
that
gonna say.
type
Gold
of
Dust. I
dilemma
saw that.
to that character.
Yeah,
And he was such a big wrestling fan. And
yeah,
and just him being a heel or a baby face, like he just could change an audience like that.
yeah.
And it sucks that what happened. Like if he did what he did, shame on him.
That's
But
what
if
that.
he didn't
Yeah,
do what he did, I would love to see him back.
yeah. You gotta make sure like especially when you in these fields, man. You gotta make sure that you're not
You got to
tarnishing your
realize
fucking
you're a
name, bro.
professional athlete and you
Yeah.
need to present
Don't let that
yourself as a
outside shit.
professional.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always good convo, man. It's always good convo about this. I mean, like we talk like we could fix the whole fucking program, but at the end of the day, I'm
No.
pretty sure there's different politicking, there's different things and reasons why people don't do exactly what they do or whatever. We
There's a
all know
reason
that.
why it's hard to be on the WWE genre, but with Triple H now in that backstory, you're gonna see more talent involvement. And Triple H knows both visuals. He knows how to be a character. He knows how to um,
Yeah,
be a wrestler. And if you put those two together, that's what's gonna make your shows more impactful. Say like Kevin Owens. And I know we got to start
repackaging,
ending off soon. Kevin Owens,
repackaging.
he's back as the prize fighter.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
lost your mind because you're sitting there watching this Kevin Owens. Like I'm telling
yeah,
you right now, Kevin Owens is having the best freaking run for the last 3 years. I don't care what anybody says.
yeah. I
For him
love
to
Kevin Owens,
headline a
man.
WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't care what that match
Hey,
was.
that was like I
I
think
was
that was one
happy.
of the best that was one of the best moments in fucking when that match that him and Stone Cold had. I
Me being a
love
Rock
that
fan,
fucking match, bro.
I'm
I
not
love
mad
that
that
match,
Austin's last match was with the Kevin Owens.
bro. It
With
was
me being a
incredible.
Rock fan, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. It was incredible. It was a great match. It was a great ending. You know what was even better? Of course that match was phenomenal. But when Theory and fucking Pat McAfee had the match, and then Vince got listen, that was probably I would say that those two matches were the best fucking moments of WrestleMania for me. I mean, it was literally that good. Like the whole thing with McAfee and Theory, and then McAfee had the beer, and Stone Cold stunned him after. You knew he was gonna stun him, but everything about that shit, it was just
It was
phenomenal. That
different.
glass
It
broke.
was different.
It
And
was
that's
it was
one thing
so
that people
much.
just got to get that visual back. Like bro, wrestling is not a longevity sport. Like people got to realize this. Your body can only take so much.
Yeah,
So why would you put yourself through all those crazy bumps and stuff like that when you could be a character, embrace it? Like Eddie Guerrero, I would talk about any day of the week. I wish
that was
somebody
phenomenal.
could bring that energy that Eddie brought. If Eddie was still alive, I guarantee he'd been like Ric Flair. He would have had like 5 last
Yeah.
matches.
I bet, man. I can imagine because I mean,
Just
it's
that
so passionate
cheating
for those guys, man.
personality, like the
Yeah,
chair shot thing. Like if I would have come back as a full wrestling run, I would do something like Eddie. Just because I know I can't bump that much, but guess what? I could do these funny skits and it still impact an
be a
audience.
character. Yeah, and be a popular character too. You wouldn't even need to
Exactly.
be. Even like I said, one of the best things that used to happen. Remember back in the day, one of the greatest storylines you used to look forward to pay-per-views for even was when a wrestler, whoever it was, would get into fights with the announcers. When he would get in a
Yep.
fight with JR or you get in a fight with Jerry the King Lawler. You know what I'm saying? It was
It
like
was all together, all
yeah, it
involved.
wasn't even with the Pat McAfee now. Like that they're bringing that back. Like him fighting Baron Corbin and him fighting Theory. It's It's entertaining. It's not
That was
fucking
the best announcing that Corey Graves has done in so freaking long. And Michael Cole and him, but banter back and forth, made
yeah.
that match even more
Yeah,
awesome.
it was
Like I
good,
tell people,
man.
like that match almost stole the show. And I will say, Pat McAfee, that wasn't one of his best matches. He was
Yeah,
way
he's
too
really good.
excited.
He's really good, man. I like
He's
him a
really
lot.
good, but he got too overwhelmed. Like, first of all, don't wear Jordans to go into a wrestling match is not good, especially if you're on the top rope. The grips are not the same.
Right.
Batista learned that when he did his boxing Jordan boots, and he thought he could go and try to, slingshot off the rope to come in the ring just to kind of be different, and he busted his ass on a live event
Oh,
because
damn.
he
Okay.
because it's slippery. Because Jordan shoes, they're built like basketball. They don't have that slippery grip. Like it's
Yeah.
not easy to hold. And I did say something about that, and I was like, Pat is a great entertainer. Like Pat
Yeah, he's really
is a
good.
great box office attraction. Logan Paul.
Yo, he's phenomenal. Fuck everybody, yo. You don't like him, whatever.
Um,
It's fun.
Always fun, man. Always fun. Brian, you got any last minute shout outs, plugs?
Oh man,
Guys, the links are all gonna be below. Go
please.
check out, hit his link up, go get some of that merch.
Oh yeah,
Check
sure.
out Tuesdays and Thursdays and even those new segments he's got coming out, guys. I highly recommend
Definitely.
checking out his Halloween episode from last year. Oh
Please.
my gosh.
It's a lot of
He
fun.
put so much into that character,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, we're gonna have
So
a lot
much.
more. We have a lot more going this end of the year, man. We coming out strong. We're gonna be back shooting episodes. Like I said, look for the new videos. We got a lot of new stuff going. New strangers we talking to, new people showing off. Tuesday nights 9 p.m. is the web show. Thursday nights 9 p.m. is the entertainment show. Brian B. We are on YouTube. Please follow me, subscribe, Instagram, TikTok. I'm all over the place. But yo, Warren, thank you so much for having me on your show once again, man. We talk for hours. You got a clock here to let me know how long and shit is going this time. But yeah, so much fun, bro. Always love. Definitely gotta have you come back
Absolutely,
on and
man.
we'll talk about some more shit. Probably cover some more wrestling and stuff, man. Cause it is
We
fun to
might
be a
talk
wrestling
about two
fan
more
right now.
matches of Super Slam
There
somehow.
you go. All right, we'll get to it. Next SummerSlam, we'll still be in the last match. Maybe we'll finally get to that one.
No, the craziest next week. My God.
We'll start it back up, bro. Cause we ain't talking for the rest of our lives and shit. Hey, check out the Beeline, yo. I'm there, Brian B. Listen, follow me all over. I said it already. Stay true, stay positive, pay attention. That's my closing I do on my show. Yo, thanks for having me on once again, bro. Really
Absolutely,
appreciate it.
bro. Absolutely, man. And I definitely will be back with you pretty soon.
Perfect.
All right, man. Be safe.
Be safe, bro.
All right, guys, I would like to get the go home cue. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Brian B from the Beeline Entertainment Show for coming back on, having a great chat with us, talk about wrestling, talk about life, talk about topics about being a father. I mean, wow, just wow. I mean, great chat for real, man. But guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, most importantly, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay in contact with all our platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Instagram, um, all social media handles, guys. You can type us at Buzzword Marlowe. Follow us, check us. Um, Stay in tune with the podcast. Obviously, guys, make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel on YouTube right here. If you listen to us on audio, you can follow us, leave a comment, leave us 5-star rating. Um, Let us know how we're doing, guys. Let us know how we're going. Shout out to Good Pods. We are number 59 in sports podcasts. That's insane to me. Still shocked on it, but man, going up, never want to go down. So, guys, thank y'all for this. Also, guys, I want to give a shout out to DCW. That's right, guys. They have an event coming up December 10th at the Baker County Fairgrounds. As you could tell, right over there, that little penguin is on the card. So, you know what? Who knows? Who knows? Only time will tell, my friend. Only time will tell. I might just show up. I might just show up and finally put my fist in his face. But who knows, guys? I want to thank everybody for listening today. This has been another great episode of Buzzing with Marlowe. And guys, I want to hope everyone has had a great holiday week. And now it's going on to the weekend. I know with Black Friday, crazy madness, all that, man. Get you shopping, eat your leftovers, do what you need to do, enjoy your time with your family. Guys, if you haven't, go check out our last episode from Commission Talks. That's right, guys, where we did predictions for Survivor Series, talked about Full Gear, and of course, honoring Jason David Frank. If you don't know who that is Tommy Oliver. He is the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger, the Black Ranger. I mean, there's so many, but you would not have Power Rangers without Tommy Oliver, in my opinion. No ifs, ands, or buts. Still, still shaking on that passing for sure. But thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of loved ones of Jason David Frank. I got to meet him not even a year ago for my daughter's just running like a crazy person in a comic shop, and she stopped over by this Hulk statue, and there was Jason David Frank. And little did he know he was doing a Facebook Live to promote, his signing for this comic store in Oakleaf. And Bell was just running and hollering, and he was not mad. That was one thing that shocked me. Like, usually a lot of people, I mean, I've been around a lot of celebrities, and usually they get very upset if there's crazy noise and obnoxious. And this thing, man, he went around after he did the live, running around with Bell, and that one was really touching to me. It really showed his character, and for what happened to him, it's sad to say, sad to see that happen. Um, it's still crazy. But guys, this has been another great episode of Buzzing with Marlo. Um, Also, guys, if you haven't, go check out our merch. Go to the bonfire/Buzzing with Marlo and get you some hoodie, a hat, a tank top, a t-shirt, a long sleeve, a v-neck, whatever type of shirt you want with that logo, you get it. And man, it helps support the podcast. Also, guys, like I said, man, if you are checking us out on audio platform, man, thank y'all. Follow us. Do what you need to do. Stay in contact with all our episodes, man. Um, I will be uploading the Dirty Hills podcast episode. Sorry, it took me a little bit longer to do. I wanted to do a little bit of changes to some of things on the audio standpoint, but that will be uploaded pretty soon. So I know a lot of people have been for last week's episode. I want to apologize. It's just been a crazy week. Me finally getting over being sick and all this. I'm now able to do a lot more now. But guys, I thank y'all. I love y'all. And I'm looking forward to Survivor Series. And if you also are as well, guys, we're going to do a live watch along. That's right, guys. We're going to do a live watch along regarding Survivor Series this weekend. That's right, guys. This Saturday night at ring time for Survivor Series until the end. I'm going to do a live watch along. We're going to have a lot of people just coming in, enjoying the chat, coming in, talk, have no copyright problems, guys. I'm not going to have any standpoint when it comes to the audio to leak out anything. You can check out the live watch along on our Facebook, our Twitter, our Twitch, and I might just do obviously we're going to do it on YouTube, but I might do Twitter. I don't know yet. We'll see where it goes with everything. But guys, I'm Warren Marlowe from the Buzzing with Marlowe podcast, and I will see you when we have more down the road. Later. Have a good